Hey there, my dear friends and fellow anglers. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of fishing predictions for a truly unique day. Friday, the 2nd of January, 2026. You might be thinking, January, that's a tough month. And you wouldn't be wrong, but hear me out. This day holds some real surprises, and if you know what to look for, you might just turn a challenging day into a memorable one. I'm going to break down exactly why this day will be special for fishing in Ireland based on all the latest data. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to tackle the chilly waters and what practical steps to take to put more fish on the bank. Let's talk about our winter warriors, the species that truly shine in these colder months, even on a day like the 2nd of January. We're focusing on two main players today, pike and perch. First up, the mighty pike. Where to look? Friends, with air temperatures dropping sharply to around 3 degrees Celsius during the day and -4 at night, and water temperatures hovering between 4 and 7 degrees Celsius in our lofts and rivers, pike are going to be lethargic and conserving energy. Forget the active chasing they do in warmer months. They'll be holding in deeper holes along drop-offs near submerged structures like weed beds that still offer some cover, or in the warmer parts of marina basins. Focus on these areas where they can ambush prey without expending too much effort. In larger lofts, look for areas with less current. What to use? This is where finesse and patience come into play. I'm talking about big, easy deadbaits, a roach, a mackerel, or a smelt, presented perfectly on a simple ledger rig, is often irresistible to a sluggish pike. For those of you who prefer lures, think large, soft plastic shads on a heavy jig head. The key is an ultra-slow sink-and-draw retrieve with long pauses. Give that pike plenty of time, sometimes even a full minute, to come and investigate your offering. Red and black flying seas are always a favorite in Ireland, but again, remember the slow retrieve. Next, let's talk about those beautiful striped fighters, the perch. Where to look? Unlike some other species, perch will keep feeding through the coldest spells, making them a brilliant target. However, their metabolism is also slowed down. You need to be mobile to find them. Look for deeper holes in rivers, especially those with slower currents, and the bottoms of steep banks or marina basins on the lofts. They often group up in these areas to conserve warmth. Fish a spot for maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and if you don't get a bite, move on. Don't be afraid to cover ground until you find the school. What to use? For perch, the drop shot method with small soft plastics or even a slow jigged grub can be incredibly effective. Small jigs with natural baits like a worm or maggot can also work wonders. If you're using bait, try a small piece of worm on a light ledger rig. The key is to keep your presentation as natural and subtle as possible. Remember, they're not chasing vigorously, so a bait sitting enticingly in front of them is often the best approach. All right, my friends, let's get down to the science bit. Understanding these conditions helps us understand why the fish behave the way they do. Weather. For Friday, the 2nd of January 2026, Ireland is looking at a rather chilly day. The daytime temperature will reach a high of only 3 degrees Celsius, dropping to a frosty -4 degrees Celsius overnight. We're also expecting some light precipitation, likely in the form of a little snow, around 0.2 centimeters. The wind is forecast to be around 27.8 kilometers per hour, with a chilly northeasterly airflow dominating for the week. This sharp drop in temperature and the cold wind will make things tough. Fish, being cold-blooded, will have significantly slowed metabolisms, making them less inclined to move and feed aggressively. The stable high pressure generally favors pike, but the intense cold will override some of that benefit, making them more lethargic. Water temperature. Inland, our lofts and rivers will be very cold, likely hovering around 4 to 7 degrees Celsius. While the Gulf Stream keeps Ireland's coastal waters relatively warmer, around 9 to 10 degrees Celsius in places like Dublin and Cork in January, our target species like pike and perch are primarily found inland. This low water temperature means fish are conserving energy. They won't chase fast-moving lures and will prioritize high-calorie meals that require minimal effort. They'll also seek out the slightly warmer, deeper parts of the water column. Moon phase. On Friday, the 2nd of January 2026, the moon will be in a strong waxing gibbous phase with about 99% illumination, just on the cusp of the full moon, which occurs the very next day. Many old-timers, myself included, believe that fishing can be excellent in the run-up to a full moon, especially for predators. While the cold weather is a major factor today, the strong moon phase could provide a slight boost to activity, particularly during twilight hours. It's a subtle factor, but one worth considering when everything else is against you. General fish activity. Biologically, fish in Ireland are firmly in their winter holding patterns during early January. Spawning season for many species is still a long way off, or has recently concluded for some. They are feeding, but not voraciously. Their primary goal is to expend as little energy as possible for the maximum caloric reward. This means presentations need to be slow, tempting, and easy to catch. While salmon fishing has just opened on a few rivers like the Drowse, targeting those early springers can be challenging. Our focus for reliable action remains on the hardy pike and perch. Considering all these factors, the sharp drop in air temperature, the very cold water, and the chilly northeasterly wind, my friends, I have to give you an honest assessment. For Friday, the 2nd of January 2026, I predict a weak bite. This is going to be a tough day on the water. The fish will be lethargic and uncooperative due to the extreme cold. However, the almost full moon might offer a tiny window of opportunity for predators, so don't lose hope entirely if you decide to brave the elements. So there you have it, my fishing family. While Friday, the 2nd of January 2026, presents some real challenges, a true angler always finds a way. Go prepared, fish smart, and remember those slow, tempting presentations. I wish each and every one of you tight lines and nothing but success out there. May you have neither tail nor scale. Don't forget, if you found this forecast helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to tactics for pike and perch when the weather gets this cold? Have you ever had an unexpected success on a freezing January day? Share your stories and tips with our community. Tight lines, and I'll catch you on the next one.